Hello, my name is Tiffany Chalk. I am making this video for my course at Georgetown College. It's EDU 585 ESL Leadership. It's under the supervision of Dr. Justin Shewell. It is part of my master's program with an ESL endorsement. ESL leadership is about training educators to transition from ESL teachers to ESL teachers and managers through guiding school communities to successful integration of students and families with heritages, backgrounds, languages, and cultures other than the American culture. For this course, I researched a high school in Northern Kentucky. I interviewed the ESL teacher, Delilah, she goes by DJ Kellinghouse, as well as a student at the high school. I gathered demographic information from her and the programs offered, and also gained some insight from the student on the perspectives of the programs being used. This data was collected using the WIDA screener and the Access annual testing, as well as data from Elevation.
And I'm with DJ Kellinghouse. She's an EL educator at a high school in Northern Kentucky, a pretty large high school in one of the bigger counties of Northern Kentucky. And she's provided me with all of her EL population information. If you want to recap just a little bit about that, what your demographic is, a little bit about how many students you have currently active.
I have approximately 30 active LEPs in the building, approximately 10 are FEP students in the building.
In addition to the information that DJ just provided on the demographics of the high school EL population, the programs that the high school currently offers are sheltered English instruction, consultative support, push-in or collaborative support, pull-out or resource support, and co-teaching. DJ actually co-teaches 2 block classes per day during the school day. The model of these programs in the high school places the ELs in the mainstream classroom as much as possible during the school day. Through my interviews, I learned that the high school does several things to show leadership for the EL community. Things that they do already include holding a school-wide international celebration. They also include EL students in an annual art show. And they also pre-record EL students' names for content area teachers. So before the school year even starts, within their online platform program, teachers can access the student, see a picture if there's one available, and then also hear the student's pronunciation of their own name, which I thought was pretty incredible, because everyone wants to be called by the name that they actually are given and pronounced correctly. A lot of the communication between the EL educator and collaborating with other teachers happens via email, as well as through the co-teaching blocks that she does twice a day, and through the Summit platform, which is the instructional platform that the school uses.
So, some recommendations for that. First, this is a book we have to actually have for class. It's Explain This to Me, Our U.S. Schools, and it's a practical Spanish-English bilingual guide for teachers. It was actually written by the director of the Georgetown College EL program.
Oh.
And I will just briefly show it to you because it is phenomenal. I actually think that we need to talk to our director and get a copy for every one of our things,
Great.
every building, because it has all of the things you would have in school. The people at your school, teachers in classrooms, paperwork, lunch and snacks, medications, everything you would give at like an open house or initially paperwork, things about calendars and snow days and extra credit. So it goes into high school material as well. Awards, grades, AP classes, ACT, everything in English and then in Spanish.
Nice.
The thing that's amazing about the book is that, so you can only order it online, but it is English and Spanish, but in the foreword, it states that it can be translated into any language. So I think you can order it in any language you need it in.
Oh, nice.
Right now, it's like available this minute on Amazon in this version, but it can be translated into other languages. And I just feel like it has so much in one like condensed version instead of we use all those online sources where we're looking for paperwork and translations for school like work stuff. I think this is a really great resource. So maybe we'll talk to our boss about getting
I was just thinking,
using some funds for that.
Principal would like to see that.
I mean, that really is something the school could. I mean, the secretaries, that would be amazing for them to have and use.
Even the counselors are always getting
nurses,
emails going,
I think about the nurses.
Can you translate this for me?
Exactly. So then the other recommendations I kind of have are about encouraging content area teachers to give students time and not force English all the time. If their EL students, brain break can be simply speaking in their native language.
Yeah.
And a lot of teachers have so much coming they have to do. They have so much work they have to do. They have all these things on their plate, and I get that. But finding that time for EL students is imperative because their brain is constantly translating, cognitively working on actually a mastery of a skill, and then, input, output, but also learning something. And so providing the time that they need to do a little brain break or allowing them to speak in their native language would be extremely beneficial, even if it's in little snippets. Other ideas that I have seen and have really liked in buildings at large are there's a building in the district actually where the front doors, there's like multiple glass doors, and they had vinyl signs that say welcome in like 10 or 15 languages, and they just put them on the glass doors. Mm-hmm. So every family member that walks in, whether you are an American citizen that's not a native English speaker or not, the first thing you see when you walk into that school building is welcome in your language. And it's such a small thing. Something else that I have seen is, and I actually adopted this the second half of the school year, I started learning just hello and goodbye, or like hi and bye in each of my students' native languages. Just hi and bye. And I think that makes a huge difference when I see my student for the first thing in the morning and I say to them in their native language, hi, the grin on their face is like, oh my gosh, someone here cares enough about me and my background
to say hello.
In addition to the recommendations provided in the video, I had some other small ideas that I have used or I have learned about that I would like to share and recommend for the high school and really for all schools because they're applicable to any grade level. The first is by bringing culture into the school by having EL students share things like foods that are native to their home country. And you'll see pictures of that at my school coming up. Decorating the classroom or office door of the EL educator with a map, and then having students color where they're from and then have a line coming off with their name so they can really feel like that's part of their identity. Also, I allow students to draw henna on my hands. That's a Eastern Asian common practice for girls, and so that's something that they enjoy doing, and I allow them to do that to share culture with me. and it's a conversation starter between other students and other educators in the building. And I also have done a language per week. Outside my door, I have a whiteboard, and it's very simple. I make statements such as, today is Monday, and then I pick a language, and each week a student with that native language translates, today is Monday, today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday, all the way through the week. And not only is it great for them to share their language, but it's amazing to see the response of the other students in the school as they walk by and they notice a different language on my whiteboard.
Would you like to enroll your student?
Le gustaría inscribir a su estudiante.
There are also some recommendations that are a little bit larger that can be done at the high school level and really any grade level to further leadership and collaboration for ELL students. This can be in the form of leading professional developments for staff members, administration, and content teachers. Getting families involved in activities by providing information in their native languages, and participating in the district-wide international festival that we hold every year. I think through those things, it really brings a sense of community to the EL students and their families. In closing, I think that the most important thing to remember about leading and collaborating for ELL students is that all teachers, staff, and administration are English teachers.